Tensions are rising again in East Asia. China has increased maritime patrols near Taiwan following new maritime boundary discussions between Japan and the Philippines. At first glance, these talks may seem technical and routine, but Beijing sees them very differently. For China, the issue is not just about maritime boundaries. It is about sovereignty, regional influence, and the growing cooperation between countries located around Taiwan. That is why China's response is attracting attention across the Indo-Pacific. The latest dispute began after Japan and the Philippines announced plans to hold maritime boundary talks. The discussions focus on waters located near Taiwan, and areas where the maritime interests of several countries overlap. Both Japan and the Philippines describe the talks as a normal diplomatic process aimed at clarifying maritime boundaries and improving cooperation. China disagrees. Beijing argues that the discussions affect areas connected to Chinese territorial claims, and therefore should not proceed without considering China's position. Within days of the announcement, China launched new maritime patrol operations in nearby waters. Instead of limiting its response to diplomatic statements, China increased its presence at sea. Chinese Coast Guard vessels and maritime law enforcement ships began operating in waters east of Taiwan. Chinese authorities described the operation as a legitimate law enforcement mission, designed to protect national sovereignty and maritime rights. This is an important detail. China often uses Coast Guard vessels rather than naval warships in situations like this. These operations allow Beijing to demonstrate power and maintain pressure without crossing the threshold into direct military confrontation. It is a strategy that China has used repeatedly in the South China Sea and East China Sea. Most people focus on the Taiwan Strait when discussing tensions involving Taiwan. But the waters east of the island are equally important. These waters connect directly to the Pacific Ocean and provide access to major shipping routes and military operating areas. For China, access to the wider Pacific is strategically important. For Taiwan, Japan, and the United States, maintaining freedom of movement in these waters is equally important. That is why activity in this region receives so much attention from military planners and policymakers. Control of these sea lanes could have major implications during any future crisis. The maritime talks are part of a broader trend. Over the past several years, Japan and the Philippines have expanded security cooperation. The two countries have increased military exchanges, conducted joint activities, and strengthened coordination on maritime issues. Both governments have also expressed concerns about growing Chinese activity in nearby waters. At the same time, both countries have strengthened ties with the United States. From Tokyo and Manila's perspective, cooperation helps improve regional security. From Beijing's perspective, these developments look increasingly like a coordinated effort to counter China's influence. Although Taiwan is not directly participating in the maritime talks, the island remains at the center of the dispute. China considers Taiwan part of its territory and strongly opposes any actions that it believes could strengthen Taiwan's international position. Taiwan responded to the latest Chinese patrols by monitoring the situation and deploying Coast Guard assets to nearby waters. Officials in Taipei are closely watching developments. Many analysts believe China is attempting to normalize a larger operational presence around Taiwan rather than focusing only on the Taiwan Strait. This dispute is about more than one set of maritime talks. It reflects a broader competition taking shape across the Indo-Pacific. China is expanding its military and maritime capabilities. Japan is increasing its defense spending, the Philippines is strengthening security partnerships, and the United States continues to deepen cooperation with regional allies. All of these developments are connected. The result is a more competitive and more complex security environment across East Asia.